welcome back to Surreal Beauty. I'm Tiffany, mental health professional, and today I wanted to touch on the topic of self-compassion. And what do I mean when I say self-compassion? Just be kinder to yourself rather than having harsh self-criticism. What do I even mean by self-criticism? How many times have you ever made a mistake and you thought to yourself like, wow, I'm such a failure? Or you remember that mistake that you made 10 years ago and it's like ruminating through your mind and you can't let it up and you constantly let it play in your mind like a reel. I do the same thing too, and the same thing has happened to me many times. But what if I told you that literally being kinder to yourself is the remedy to this tragedy? Literally simply being more gentle, more kind, more patient, rather than being harsh. In all actuality, being kinder to yourself rewires your brain for a better mental health. So today we're going to be diving into self-compassion and mindfulness, why they matter, how it works, and simply how you can apply them to your everyday life. Stay tuned. So I wanted to talk a bit more about compassion and why I feel the need to open up about even my personal experience with it. I was one that was highly critical of myself, my looks, my appearance, my skill sets, my talents, just my overall, just being in existence. And I remember throughout high school, college, these poor negative thoughts, how much they contaminated my mind and my overall well-being. And I don't know if you've heard this saying before, but it's what you think about, therefore, you put into action and you manifest it, you project that into your outside world. So whatever is happening on the inside of us, it is manifested and projected into our outside world. So what we believe is true, therefore becomes our reality. And that was the thing. A lot of the negative thoughts that were playing through my mind that I was entertaining, I just was allowing it to take full control. Anytime I made a mistake, whether it be when I did sports or just in the household with like family at the time, just anything that I could like possibly do wrong, I made sure I paid the price mentally. I beat myself up. I mentally abused myself. It got to the point where I received emotional and mental abuse earlier on that others didn't need to do it. I was doing it myself until I learned about self-compassion and how important it is for us to speak more kinder and gentle to ourselves, and literally starting to make that transition and seeing the difference between how I speak to myself internally and the internal dialogue that takes place versus then. And so a lot of the things before were I'm a failure or I cannot, I'm incapable, has turned into I am able, I am capable, I will show you, things like that. And so I wanted to dive into self-compassion and mindfulness and ways we can incorporate these tools and tips in our life for an overall better mental health. So here's the deal. Our brains, they're drama queens. It loves to focus on negative things, and we can honestly thank evolution for that. But research has shown that people who practice self-compassion have lower stress levels, better emotional resilience, and even improved motivation. Does this still seem a little bit too good to be true? I'll break this down even further. Self-kindness versus self-judgment. Talking kind to yourself versus being harsh and highly critical. That's the two difference right there. Being kinder to yourself alleviates a lot of stress levels and makes you feel that much better about your overall well-being. And even if you are making a mistake in that moment, you could still be gentle with yourself, be kinder to yourself. The second one is common humanity versus isolation. Literally, you're not alone because everyone messes up. So whatever mistakes you make, the thoughts and stuff that kind of come after the fact, you and other people in this world, millions of us, are experiencing that same thing. The third one is mindfulness versus over-identification. And this is simply to say that you can be able to recognize your feelings and not allow them to define you. And I know I said mindfulness, and before you roll your eyes or just think that I'm simply talking about sitting in silence in a chair, just stick with me. I'll give you more tips on what I mean by mindfulness. Okay, let's talk about real life ways you can start to practice self-compassion in your life without having to feel like it's something else to do on your to-do list. So this is going to be a good one. We call this one the best friend talk. So the next time you find yourself about to say something negative, harsh to yourself, pause in that moment and ask yourself, would I give this advice to a friend, to my closest friend, loved one? Would I say the things to them that I'm saying to myself in this moment? So that's the best friend test. Okay. The next self-compassion tip is the self-compassion break. When you find that you are experiencing a really tough, challenging moment, in that nick of time, I need you to pause and process in that moment and understanding that you are human, what you are experiencing is tough. And in that moment, you want to ask yourself, what do I need right now? So this is really important because you are acknowledging that you are overwhelmed, you are stressed, you are feeling high levels of whatever it is, but also understanding and acknowledging that you are human. This is something that's normal. And then checking in with yourself and asking, what do I need right now to help alleviate X, Y, and Z, whatever pain or stress? This is another tip that actually helps. I use it in my personal life, and I also allow my clients, this is a tip that I give my clients as well. And the third self-compassion tip is daily mindful check-in. What do I mean by this? This means on a day-to-day basis for 30 seconds, when you find yourself just having some time to just kind of check in with yourself. No judgment, just taking full awareness of how you're feeling, how you're thinking, whatever that feeling or mood may be, just acknowledging it. And then again, checking in and determining, what is best for your needs to fulfill your needs in that moment. So if it is going for a walk, maybe having, taking a break if you're at work, drinking a glass of water, any of these things. So that's another self-compassion tip as well. And I know what overall these tips sound small. They may sound small, but over time they add up so fast, and they all help with supporting the rewiring of your brain to be more supportive and have more self-compassion. Guys, this is not something that I'm just trying to blow smoke up. This is something that I've seen results in my personal life, as well as with, clients just, reaching out or responding with feedback, stating that this is something that helps them as well. So I wanted to tap into the mindfulness aspect of self-compassion. And I know that I wanted to give more tips than just actually sitting in silence and meditating. And while that is a great source, and I recommend that and encourage everyone to do that, if that's not really your lane or you're finding it difficult to really unwind and get quiet in the moment, we have what we call mindful walking, where in that walk, you're not on your phone, you're not really talking to anyone or anything of that sort. You're literally using that time to just kind of tune in with self and just kind of, unwinding on the day, how it's been going. Or if you're starting the day with mindful walking, anticipating and just almost just taking it in, just kind of setting some of your daily goals, hitting some of your gratitudes and affirmations. This is a great, excellent way to check in with yourself and practice some of that self-compassion. And then we also have mindful eating. And so actually taking the time, because I know a lot of with social media being big, we can have the ability or tendency to be on our phones or even watching TV while we're eating. And so we're not really in the moment, tasting our foods, really chewing our foods, getting our chews into things like that. Because I think it's about 52 chews or something. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, mindful eating allows you to taste your food, and go through the process and just simply enjoy it. And again, I know these things seem really small and minuscule, but they make all the more difference. So these are some tips that I encourage you all to try out. I'm super excited because now I want to challenge you all to pick one self-compassion tip or mindfulness tip, or perhaps one from both, self-compassion and mindfulness. And I want to challenge you to start incorporating it in your daily life. And please, I'd love to hear. You can comment, you can message, you can email me. I'd love to hear about what your experiences was like and just the overall process. And don't be afraid if you want to use more of the self-compassion tips that I share. Be sure to not just, use it for yourself. You can share it with loved ones so they can start harboring and incorporating more of that self-compassion in their life. But thanks guys for listening. If you found this video helpful, if you found the message and the tools that I shared helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with a friend, anyone who you feel may need the information that was given. And again, be nicer to yourself, be kinder to yourself. Self-compassion is a tool, and the small steps are huge and they do make a difference. And until next time, I'll see y'all.